Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Soulful Illumination with the full moon energy. So, this is part two, and it is called Powerfully Illuminating. So, welcome. Just this is live right now, so I'm just making sure we're good and sound is good. And hopefully, yesterday there were people on and they said hello, and I didn't see any comments until the end, right? So I am so sorry, but let's see if we are live. Yep, there we are. Okay, I'm gonna try and hey, I see the comments. Good morning, Kelly. Hello. Good to have you here. Okay, so what you're gonna need as I'm talking, you can kind of get this, is a plate. I just used a styrofoam plate here, and I used my white paint pen because we are going to paint the moon in the center of our painting. So this today is going to be all about illuminating powerfully, which is what the moon is doing. So yesterday we painted the background and we painted shadows, and we talked about three things. First of all, observing what's coming up for you, observing any memories, triggers, old songs, dreams that you're having. I had another teacher dream last night, so it's really coming up powerfully that I need to be open to letting that part of my life go, which I am working on, right? And today we'll talk about, well, how do I do that, right? Because I don't know how to do that. But also observing, second thing we talked about was having compassion. So having compassion and non-judgment. So try and remove yourself from the emotions, although we're observing the emotions, because that is a big part of revealing to us what needs to be released and what's coming up to be released. So these shadows within us are bubbling up. So what happens when we start to bring in higher light frequencies into our life? It comes in through the top of your head, comes down into your body, and bumps up against any traumas or old stuff that we are holding within our lower chakras. So these lower chakras is where we hold our traumas and pain, and and even within our organs and tissues. This is the powerhouse of our body. We have our womb there for creating. We have our organs, our kidneys, our liver, our hips, our core strength is there. And if it's clogged up with old stuff, then it's going to make not only moving forward difficult, but receiving difficult, because we receive, of course, from the earth. So if you're struggling with any scarcity issues, oh, there's not enough, or I couldn't do that, who am I to do this? Like, all of that is showing you that you have stuff here to be released. And when we do release that and let it go, we are stronger in our core, in our center. We really feel confident in what we're doing. We have more self-confidence. We feel our sense of worthiness, that yes, I am allowed to get more. I'm allowed to receive more. I'm allowed to step forward and do this. So it's really so wonderful when we can do that work to release all that extra heavy energy that is no longer serving us. Because right now we are in a time where it is time to move forward away from the densities of this 3D world and allow these higher frequencies to come in and show us the way, show us the next steps. Because we're creators. We're the ones that are saying, but I want this. I want more of lightness. I want more joy. I want more health. I want more vitality. I desire to have a purpose in this world. And so the universe is saying, okay, let's put this heavy load of rocks down and let's move up into that. So That's the illumination. That is when, if you imagine all these old energies within our bodies are like the clouds, the storm clouds in the sky. And when we start to remove those clouds, the sun shines more brightly within us. Our inner sun begins to shine and glow. Okay, so the third thing from yesterday was to reflect on what's coming up. Reflect on it. Are you ready to let it go? Are you truly ready? Okay, so today we are going to start to paint the moon and talk about that powerful illumination and how this illumination is helping us with our next step. So you are going to need your paint palette with white on it. And yep, you're going to need to draw circles. So I have used a plate, a styrofoam plate to trace, and just a white paint pen. You could also use a white pencil crown will sometimes help you draw that circle because we have black here. You're like, oh, how am I going to do that if I don't have a white paint pen? Or you can draw with your paintbrush and paint around the plate. Okay, so I'm just going to shift myself here so that I can get started. I'm going to use my big brush again, and I'm going to just start on my edge, and I'm going to use the edge of my brush. So like I'm going to let the brush do the work, and I am going to press it up to that line and start to paint around it. So this is going to take a little time, but that's okay. So the moon is brightly illuminating, helping us see the shadows. The light obviously creates contrast to shadows. And so during the full moon energy, we can observe our shadows even more. Now the next step then is, well, now what? Well, it's your opportunity, first of all, to get clear, get crystal clear, the clarity that comes with bright light. If you're like me, my eyes are getting older. I need more and more light as I am doing my painting and drawings. So I need to turn more lights on when I'm doing this. Um, but it's an opportunity for us to say, okay, well, what is it that I do want? If I have this old stuff coming up, how did it serve me? And how do I want to move forward? How did I grow from it? What areas of growth did I have from it? And it's a good time to to reflect on that and celebrate those growths and strengths that you gained from. I'm going to turn my canvas here. So all the growths and the strengths that you gained from your past. Your past, it has helped you develop into who you are. And you, as the creator, then get to move forward. So I want to move forward. I want to let go of any of that guilt and shame and blame and anything from my past. I want to let it go and move forward. It's done. It's over, and I am constantly creating every single day. So what am I going to create now? What kind of relationships am I going to create? What kind of job do I want to have? How do I want to serve in the world? I mean, I now have personally created a world in my like a career that I absolutely love. This this career of being able to work from home, um, painting and being creative every day, being in powerful conversations about growth and consciousness and spirituality. I mean, I just love these conversations. And I can remember several years ago thinking, how cool would it be to actually have creativity every day, to be doing creative stuff every day, and to be having these conversations about our soul and spirituality. And so that is what we've created here. All right. So once you get a nice coat of this white on, we're going to add a little bit of blue. This is a blue moon, so we're going to add a bit of blue. Okay, so I can see that I didn't quite get my moon in the exact center. It's a little higher at the top than at the bottom, but that's okay. Oh, making a mess. All right, so I am just going to, before I do my blue, I'm going to just put a glow around my moon. And the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to use some glaze, some glazing liquid here. So let me just put a little bit of that on my canvas. So this stuff is amazing. I love this stuff. I go through a lot of it. It's called golden gloss glazing. You can get it in matte glazing, doesn't really matter. It extends, like it slows down the drying time for acrylics, so it allows you to do things that um, I used to be able to do with my oil paints, which is wonderful because I love oil paints. I love oil paints, but the acrylics, there's so many things about the acrylics that I do love. I do love that they dry uh, quicker, but this gives you transparent layers. And so let me just make sure that's a little bit too much white on there. So I'm going to put a layer of this glow around. And it's maybe a little bit bright, but it's okay. Around my moon. Maybe a little bit brighter than what I wanted. Okay, that's better. And so I'm almost using just, I had some paint on my brush and I want it to be really light. And so I'm just using that paint and pure glaze to go around. Oops, again, more glaze here. To go around my moon here and create a beautiful glow for us. So just take your time, and as you're painting, be thinking about, what am I ready to move forward in? What am I ready to let go of? Am I really ready to let go of um, any old stories about who I was and step into a new story? And really pay attention to that, because a lot of times those stories do serve us in certain ways. Maybe it gets us extra attention from somebody that we are craving more attention from. I actually had a very cool experience with that several years ago when I was sick. I had a really bad cold, a bad cough, and it was just, this cough was lingering and lingering, and um, it was keeping me up at night, and I was doing absolutely everything I could to let it go or get rid of it, taking all the right, and it was a couple weeks into this cough and I was just getting so frustrated with it. And I'm like, okay, I truly believe we can heal our own bodies. So, oh my gosh, universe, like what is going on? It's like midnight and I couldn't sleep because I was coughing. And finally I got up and I thought, I'm just going to I'm just going to journal a little bit. So I lit a candle and I sat by my journal, and the house was quiet. My husband was sleeping, and I just was like, universe, how do I heal? How do I heal? And um, did a meditation, and a beautiful download came through that showed me, and this is actually very relevant for what we're doing here, but it showed me how I was trying to get my power. I was trying to get my power and energy from people around me that I love, like from my kids. My kids had grown up and moved out, but they were having their own lives, and I was struggling with a little bit of empty nest syndrome. And so I was craving their attention, and I was like, why don't they call me? They need to call me, right? That empty nest syndrome is brutal. It's like, I miss them. I want to be a part of their life. Where are they? And the universe showed me how I needed to let go of that, and how I needed to ground and tunnel into that beautiful, if you follow my meditations, you know that I guide you to connect to the heart of the universe, to your heart, to the heart of the earth. That's where we get our power. That's exactly where I need to get my power from. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I've been trying to grab energy from my kids without even realizing I was doing it. And I don't want to do that. I mean, I want them to grow up and enjoy their life and move on, not be tied to me. So I took some time at that moment, and I imagined, cutting the cords to my kids and allowing them to go have their life. And I powered up. I completely powered up for me from my source and from the earth, and I got strong and stable. And I kid you not, I woke up the next morning and my cough was gone, completely gone. There is this power that we can tap into. And too often we are looking outside ourselves to gain our power, and that is not the place for us. And that is exactly part of this message, too. That was perfect, because the next thing I was going to talk about is that the veil is very thin right now. And so now is a time to trust your intuition, to tap into it, to sink into your soul, sink into that light within you, that powerful light within you, and gain your power and your strength there. So you may be feeling a little unsure right now because of the energies. We have 7 planets in retrograde. So you may be feeling a little unsure of the direction that you should go, but don't look outside of yourself. You want to be sinking in to the inner light within you. And this moon, this full moon energy, is opening up portals for us to do that, for exactly that. So it's a deep dive into your soul for your guidance and your next step, which is exactly the next thing. Okay, so before I go on, I'm going to add a little bit of my blue, same blue that I used yesterday, just that phthalo blue. I'm going to put just a little bit of it on my palette to mix with the white. And I am going to need a little more glaze. I'm going to be using my glaze for this too, because I love the transparent layers for my moon. And I can still see my background through my white, and that's okay. So I'm going to be adding more layers here. I'm making a nice light blue with my white, and I'm just going to start to add some of this blue in different spots. I'm not going to completely cover the white. I don't want to do that. I'm just going to dip my brush in glaze and dip it into the paint and add some of this blue around it. So, um, so the veil is thin. That was the next message for you. The veil is thin during full moon times is a perfect opportunity to allow yourself time to sink in and really tap into that intuition and your heart and your guidance. How do you know if it's telling you the right thing? By how you feel. By how you feel. Hi, Joe. Welcome. Um, so if it feels light, it's probably the right direction. If it's like, oh, I feel like I should do this, I feel like the message is coming through that I need to do this, then it should feel good. It should feel lighter. It should feel more exciting, right? It's the excitement levels that show you your next step. And maybe it's cleaning up some old stuff, cleaning up old paperwork, cleaning up, getting rid of decluttering, things like that. I'm just going to add a little more blue. So I have a little darker blue here for some spots. That's part of the Virgo energy too right now is very much, let's take care of that paperwork. Let's take care of the details, get it done. Things that maybe have been put off. It's time to take care of it, get rid of it, clean out the closets, that sort of thing. Okay, so I got a little bit of blue. Oops, that one went a little much. I've got a bit of blue here. I like how my moon is looking. I could even do a little blue glaze around the outside too. Oops, too much. Get rid of some of that white. Um, so right now is an opportune time to be receiving messages too. With this thin veil. What that means basically is that the barrier between worlds is thin. And it's gotten thinner and thinner and thinner over the years. When I first started in my spiritual journey, the veil wasn't as thin as it is now. It's much easier for people to channel their guidance and intuition. I'm just going to go with this blue here in the background and let us have a little color back here. And so right now, more and more people are channeling. More and more people are saying, "Hey, I got a message." Some of us are getting the messages for the collective, and some are getting messages for themselves or people around them, and it's coming through more and more. So you may have noticed that in your life as a mystic, you are opening up more, and there's more clarity in what's coming through for you. And that is because the veil has been thinner and thinner. So during this full moon time, it's even a little bit easier to access that intuition. Hi, Dalmaine. Just listening while I get some other art done. Perfect. Perfect. Yeah. Okay. So I want to add more colors into my moon because I love color. And I just want to play with this some more. So this is when we can start to maybe add some magenta or purples in here. Actually, I might just add a little. Well, I'm going to start with magenta. was going to say a yellow, but I think I'll start with magenta and then I will add some golds and yellows in. So I'm just going to put a little drop of that quinacridone magenta. And I love this color. And clean my brush out a little bit. Again, I'm going to use a little bit of white with the magenta and glaze. And we'll just throw a little bit of this in. Nice. I don't know if you guys can see it very well, but it does make a difference. Just a little bit, not too much. Make a colorful moon rather than a realistic moon. And you can use your magenta and your blue to get a purple if you want. Oopsies, that didn't work so well. Now let's add a little yellow into this, baby. Okay, so then the last thing I want to talk about too is the opportunity for healing at this time. So there's a lot of energy coming through that, of course, all of this is about healing. All of it is about healing the old stuff, letting it go, right? Healing energy for being open to let go of this old stuff and perhaps even new opportunities coming in. So right now you might be getting new opportunities, um, new offers in your life, new jobs, new courses, things that can take you to your next level, which is all part of following that guidance, right? So that is when we talk about, okay, so if I'm ready to let go of this stuff, how do I do it? That's how we do it. We, first of all, deep dive into listening to our intuition, gaining that um, guidance from within us. This might be a bit dark. Let me just. That's better. So gaining some guidance within our own meditations, within our own journaling, just sitting down and going, okay, universe, I'm open to listening. How do I do this? What's my next step? And all of a sudden you might get, a program pop up on your feed of like letting go of old wounds or something that might appeal to you. And I was talking with somebody the other day who had seen this program that I'm starting, the Unstoppable Dream Women's women's recovery circles. And she's like, I don't know why, but as soon as it popped up, it was like an automatic, yes, I need to do this. And that is how we follow our intuition. That is exactly it. When you see something and it's like, oh my gosh, I feel like that's what I need to do, then that's what you need to follow, right? You need to follow it. So yeah, that unstoppable dream women's recovery circle is for everybody. It is for every woman, no matter what she's been dealing with. It's recovery from everything, recovery from any traumas, recovery from um, living a life for other people rather than yourself, recovery from, I just wanted this blue to be a little bit darker, from saying yes to everybody else, but not yourself. Recovery from divorce, recovery from money traumas, recovery from, you know, raising your children, relationships, like anything at all. It is about us letting go of those layers that are clogging us up, letting go of all the clouds and allowing our light to shine through. Okay, I could play all day with this moon. It's fun, right? And the more I darken those shadows, the brighter the light gets. That's the contrast, right? Being able to see. All right. So, once you have this, then you can play in the background a little bit. We could add some stars in here. Tomorrow, we're going to add a symbol on top. Okay, so just so you know, we're going to add the symbol on top tomorrow. But for today, you can play with this background and you can, play around with adding stars and just making it your own, making it shine and sparkle. And the women's, oops, um, recovery circle starts next week. If you want to join us, we meet every week. That's that's what we do every Wednesday evening. And I will be, as we grow, I will add in a daytime one too. So reach out if that appeals to you, because the more people that reach out, the sooner we can get that going. It's a subscription, and it is, oh, I know what I wanted to talk to you guys about. Oh, sacred geometry. Okay. So one thing I did notice with this moon, when I had first put the circle on, I have this beautiful flower of life stencil, and it actually almost fits perfect on top. I might, I might add that on. I don't know. We'll see. I love adding in the sacred geometry, the flower of life, the Metatron's cube. So in the recovery circle, we are working with Metatron's cube, because sacred geometry is like mathematicians, scientists, philosophers, Greek philosophers, artists have all been fascinated with the the beautiful sacred geometry, and what they found is its union. Sacred geometry is union because it has within it all the platonic solids, the building blocks of everything in life. And within the Metatron's cube is exactly that. So Metatron's cube, here's a stencil of it. It has all the platonic solids. It has a circle, it has a triangle, it has a square, the rectangle, every platonic solid. So, and that's the building blocks of all of nature and life and anything in the physical form. It is the energetic frequency at the foundation of manifestation. And when we start to work with this beautiful Metatron's cube, which is what we do in the recovery circle, it becomes a framework for us to keep coming back to. So anytime that we feel a little bit unsure, anytime that there's chaos going on around us, and we know after all we've been through in the last few years that we cannot depend on the outside world for our stability and our strength. We need to find it within us. And that sacred geometry is a powerful framework and structure for us to work with. And so this is what we work with in the Unstoppable Dream Women's Recovery Circle. And it's a beautiful cycle that we keep moving through. It's about 7 months long, and then we restart and keep going. And so it doesn't matter when you come into the circle, you just pick up where we're at. You get access to all the modules. We paint mandalas, we draw sacred geometry. It is a powerful program. And it is all about finding that strength within us and recognizing that our past stories, ah, they are powerful stories. They're nothing to hide from, nothing to be ashamed of. It's about how strong we are growing and becoming on the inside. Okay, so I'm going to invite you to play with your sun and or your your moon and your stars. One thing I can show you though is when you want to do stars, if you want to give them a glow, let me see if I can do this. So I'm going to put a little bit of, there's a bit of a white mixed with blue here, a little bit of that on my brush with, oops, there we go, with there we go, glaze, and I can make a blob and then just use my finger. And what happens is then, make a blob, use my finger, is then I have, use another brush here, I have a soft fuzzy spot. And if I take white on the end of my brush, the opposite end, and make a dot in there, I get a little bit of a glow around my stars. Okay, so that gives you a little bit of a glow to it if you so choose. So a little bit of blue and white to get that color, and you can do different different tones of blue. Sorry, I have a hard time painting and talking at the same time. That's why I have to keep stopping and talking to you rather than while I'm painting. And then you can also put some small dots in. So play around, make your background, make your beautiful full moon as colorful as you want. Add different colors in there, or just go with a realistic moon if you choose. And then tomorrow afternoon, I'm going to come back in and we're going to paint a symbol on there and talk about the last three things with our full moon energy to watch out for. So today we talked about the opportunity to get really clear. That's your opportunity right now. As we observe the shadows, we observe what's coming up. It's our opportunity to let that go and release it and get clear on what we do want to create. You're the artist of your life. What do you want to create? And the second one is that the veil is very thin. So going within, deep diving into the soul, trusting your intuition, asking the questions, and then listening quietly for the answers, right? And the third thing was that there's opportunity for healing, right? So healing on many different levels, and also being open to the new opportunities coming in that will help you with the healing. So never forget to ask for what you want from the universe. Be clear, get super clear, write it down. I'm a big promoter of journaling. I love journaling. This is the opportune time for you to say, okay, in this full moon energy. I can see the shadows clearly. And here's what I do want. Here's where I want to direct the light towards. Okay, you guys have fun with this, and I'll see you tomorrow for the part 3, the final one. And if you are interested in the Unstoppable Dream Women in Recovery Circle, please reach out to me and I will send you the link so you can take a closer look at it. All right. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.